Good morning everyone, welcome back to your class. Today is the second period that we are doing and now it's a recorded class. In the morning we had started the new lesson, Bipin Chaudhary's Lapse of Memory, and in that lesson we did live. I hope you have understood the lesson. So a quick recap of what we did this morning. We did about Bipin Chaudhary's lapse of memory and how he seemed to have forgotten, or how the author makes us believe that he has forgotten some part of his life. So one day he was there at Kalicharan's. Kalicharan's is the name of a bookshop. He was buying books in New Market and he suddenly felt someone looking at him from behind. And when he turned, he saw one man who had a very round and meek and gentle and humble face looking at him. And then the man came up to him and told him that, "Do you remember me?" And Bipin Babu said, "No, I don't remember you." Then he said, "How can you not remember me? I only had made arrangements for you to go to Ranchi in 1958. And Bipin Babu said, "No, I've never been to Ranchi ever before." So he was quite surprised. And then this Parimal Ghosh began to give him information about his own life which nobody knew. And this man seemed to know everything about Bipin Babu. Bipin Babu said, "Maybe you made a mistake with me." He said, "No, you are Bipin Babu. I know you very well." And then he began to tell him about his life, that his wife had died 10 years ago, that he had a brother in the mental asylum in Ranchi, and that is why he didn't like to go there, and that he himself had made tickets for him or made arrangements for him to go to Ranchi, and had even made arrangements for him to go to Hudru Falls, where he had fallen down and hurt his knee. So all this Parimal Ghosh, the man named Parimal Ghosh, told Bipin Babu. Bipin Babu said, "No, I have not been to Ranchi," and he turned away and he said, "Good day to you." Like we came to know in the morning that Bipin Babu is an introvert and he doesn't like to make friends, he doesn't like to mix with people, and he has very few friends. And he was quite annoyed with this Parimal Ghosh. He seemed to be knowing so much. He also knew about his books. That Parimal Ghosh told him that you carried books to Hudru Falls, you carried books to Ranchi when you went. So all this information he gave to Bipin Babu. Bipin Babu was quite shocked, but then he wanted to end the conversation and he told Parimal Ghosh, "Good day, you have made a mistake, good day." And he said, and he walked away from there. Yes, so till there we have done part 1 we have done. Today we will do part 2. Okay, in the recorded class we will do part 2. Okay, please send your homework which I sent you in the morning for the live class. Please send that homework by today evening. It's very simple. Do the homework. Okay, so coming up is the continuation of the story. Please watch the video till the end. So in part 1 we had ended with Bipin Babu leaving the shop after paying for his books, and the man was looking at him in disbelief, utter disbelief. He could not believe what Bipin Babu had told him, that Bipin Babu had not believed him. So now coming to part 2. Bipin Babu's car was safely parked in Bertram Street by the Lighthouse Cinema. Lighthouse is the name of the cinema hall. So his car was parked there in a place called Bertram Street. It's a street name. He told the driver as he got into the car, "Just drive by the Ganga, will you, Sitaram?" So who is Sitaram? Sitaram is his driver. And so he told his driver, Sitaram, just drive by the Ganga. Just go near the or beside the Ganga. Just drive, take me for a drive by the Ganga. Driving up the Strand Road, so we have two street names here, Bertram Street and the second one is Strand Road. So driving up the Strand Road, Bipin Babu regretted having paid so much attention to the intruder. So now he was sitting in the car and his mind could not go off Parimal Ghosh. He kept thinking about him and the episode that happened with him in Kalicharan's shop. And now Bipin Babu was regretting. He thought to himself, why did I talk to that man? Why did I give him so much attention? To that intruder. Intruder is a person who enters your home without telling you, like a thief. A thief who enters your home is an intruder. Somebody coming to kill you in your home is an intruder. He is a stranger, intruder who enters your home by force. So he thought to himself, why did I pay so much attention to that person? He had never been to Ranchi, no question about it. He was trying to satisfy his own mind or tell himself that no, I have not been to Ranchi. He was quite afraid. From this very sentence, we come to know that something was there that was annoying him, that was he was thinking about it. But then he said to himself, ultimately, no, I have not been to Ranchi, there's no question about it. It was unconceivable, unthinkable that he should forget such an incident which took place only 6 or 7 years ago. He says, no, how can I forget? It's unthinkable, unconceivable. I cannot even imagine that I should forget an incident which just happened 6 or 7 years ago. It cannot be. I cannot have forgotten that episode of my trip to Ranchi. He had an excellent memory and he prided himself in his memory. He had a very, very good memory. And here was this Parimal Ghosh telling him that he had been to Ranchi in 1958, and this was not coming into his mind. He could not imagine it even. Unless Bipin Babu's head reeled, so he thought of something. With the word unless tells us that suddenly some thought came to him and his head began to reel. Reel means he began to feel very dizzy, going round and round, chakkar. Getting reeling. His head was going round because he did not know what to think, whether he had been or not been, and if he had been, then how could he have forgotten something which happened just 6 or 7 years ago. Yes, if something happened 20, 25, 30 years ago, maybe you can forget, but you can't forget a trip to a place such as Ranchi. That remains in our mind forever. So Bipin Babu's head was reeling, was going round and round. He did not know what to think. He was quite perplexed, confused. Okay, coming to the next page. So on page 62, he got a thought. Unless, and Bipin Babu's head reeled. Was he losing his mind? He was thinking, was he losing his mind? Remember in the first part we had done something about his brother being in an asylum where we keep mad people, being insane. So he thought to himself, was he losing his mind? Losing his mind means, am I becoming mad? But how could that be? He was working daily in his office. It was a big firm and he was doing a responsible job. He wasn't aware of anything ever going seriously wrong. Only today he spoke for half an hour at an important meeting, and yet, so now he began to doubt himself. He thought, maybe I'm losing my mind, but how is that possible? I'm doing my work seriously in the office. And he was working in a very, very big firm, very big company, very big job, and he also had a very responsible job. So a mad person cannot do such kind of a job. He was thinking. He wasn't aware of anything. He didn't remember anything going wrong at his workplace. And just that day only, he had spoken at an important meeting for half an hour. And then he began to doubt and he said, and yet the man knew a great deal about him. Now who is that man? The man is Parimal Ghosh, and he was thinking, Bipin Babu was thinking to himself, how could Parimal Ghosh know so many intimate, so many personal things about me? The bag, books, wife's death, brother's insanity. Insanity means madness. The only mistake was about his having gone to Ranchi. He said, how could this man know so many things about my personal life? But only one mistake he made was that he said that I had been to Ranchi, but I have not. Not a mistake, a deliberate lie. He said, no, it cannot be a mistake. Parimal Ghosh has not made a mistake. He's telling lies. In 58, during the pujas, he was in Kanpur at his friend Haridas Bakchi's house, and he thought back, where was I in 58? And then he remembered, in 1958, I was at my friend's house. His friend named Haridas Bakchi's house. All Bipin Babu had to do was write to, so he thought, okay, I can write to Haridas Bakchi. And then he said, no, there was no way of writing to Haridas. Bipin Babu suddenly remembered that Haridas had left with his wife for Japan some weeks ago and he didn't have his address. Suddenly he remembered, no, Haridas Bakchi is no longer there. He has left for Japan. He has gone to Japan with his wife. And at the moment, Bipin Babu had no forwarding address or no address of Haridas Bakchi. So he could not confirm also about his going to Ranchi in 1958 with Haridas Bakchi. But where was the need for proof? He himself was only aware that he hadn't been to Ranchi, and that was that. He said, okay, I don't need any proof. I know that I have not been to Ranchi, so I have not been. Nobody can force me to believe that I have been to Ranchi, he said. I don't need any proof. I know that I have not been to Ranchi. The river breeze was bracing, and yet a slight discomfort lingered in Bipin Babu's mind. The river breeze was bracing. River breeze, which river? The Ganga. He was going beside the river Ganga. His driver was driving beside the river Ganga. And the breeze coming in from the river was very bracing, was very stimulating, was very refreshing to him. And yet something lingered, some discomfort. He was not comfortable. Discomfort means not comfortable. Why? Because something was on his mind. Lingering means just there in his mind. He couldn't stop thinking about what Parimal Ghosh had told him. And this was troubling him. Around Hastings here is the name of a place. Around Hastings, Bipin Babu decided to roll up his trousers and take a look at his right knee. So now he said, let me look at my right knee, where he was supposed to have fallen down at Hudru Falls and had got cut on his knee. So he said he rolled up his trousers, he put up his his pants, he rolled it up and he took a look at his right knee. There was the mark of an old inch long cut, just 1 inch long cut. A mark was there. It was impossible to tell when the injury had occurred, but he could not remember when this injury he had got on his leg. There was a scar mark on his knee. There was a scar. After you get hurt, it leaves a scar. So this scar was there, and unfortunately he could not remember how and when he got that scar on his right knee. So now he began to doubt, he began to think, and he began to get very, very worried about what Parimal Ghosh had said to him. Worried in the sense because he thought he was losing his mind. And so now we can say that he had a kind of a lapse of memory. Yes, I hope it is clear so far. Now moving on to the next page. So please, if you have doubts so far, please let me know. Okay. Now moving on to the next page of part 2. So when he rolled up his trousers, there was actually an old 1 inch long scar, which proved that he had an injury there. But now somehow he could not recall, he could not remember. Had he never had a fall as a boy and cut his knee? He tried to recall such an incident but couldn't. He tried very, very hard to remember whether he had fallen as a boy, when he was a small boy, if he had fallen and had cut his knee. But unfortunately he could not remember. Then Bipin Babu suddenly thought of Dinesh Mukherjee. Remember Dinesh Mukherjee in the first part? Yes, Parimal Ghosh had told him that you also met Dinesh Mukherjee in Ranchi. Yes, Dinesh Mukherjee stayed with his sister, but you stayed in a bungalow. So suddenly he remembered Dinesh Mukherjee. The man had said that Dinesh was in Ranchi at the same time. The best thing surely would be to ask him. So he said, okay, I can ask Dinesh Mukherjee whether I was there or not. He lived quite near, in Beninandan Street. So we have another name of a street. First street was Bertram Street, second street was Strand Road, and now we have another street named Beninandan Street. So what is the significance of Beninandan Street? This is where Dinesh Mukherjee lived. What about going there right now? He said, okay, I can go there and ask him just now. But then, if he had really never been to Ranchi, what would Dinesh think if Bipin Babu asked for a confirmation? So he thought back. Again he thought to himself, but then if he had never really been to Ranchi, what would Dinesh think if Bipin Babu asked for a confirmation? He thought, if I ask Dinesh Mukherjee whether I had been to Ranchi in 1958, what will he think about me? He will think I have gone mad. And what if I have never been there and I ask Dinesh Mukherjee to confirm that? So Dinesh Mukherjee will think I have gone mad. He would probably conclude Bipin Babu was going nuts. Going nuts means going crazy, going mad. No, it would be ridiculous to ask him. He said, no, I cannot ask Dinesh Mukherjee because he will think that I have gone mad. So he refrained. He said, no, I cannot ask Dinesh Mukherjee. So we'll end here. So hopefully it is clear to you, part 2 now. So yes, so in part 2 is all about Bipin Babu's thoughts, what not he is thinking. He's thinking about many things and he can't get it out of his mind. The thought or the things that Parimal Ghosh told him, he's not able to get them out of his mind, and he feels that he is going crazy or going nuts or losing his mind. Yes, so we have a number of people mentioned here. In the first part, we have a person named Parimal Ghosh. Please remember these names, okay? We have Parimal Ghosh, his mention is there. Bipin Babu, another name. Then we have Dinesh Mukherjee, another name, who lives in Ranchi. Then we have another name coming up. Who's that? Yes, Haridas Bakchi's house, place. Haridas also is mentioned here. But he had moved away to Japan with his wife, and at the moment Bipin Babu had no address, no forwarding address of Haridas Bakchi, so he could not ask him. The only person he could ask now about his visit to Ranchi was Dinesh Mukherjee, and that Bipin Babu was not willing to do because he did not know what Dinesh Mukherjee would think of him. So till here, I'm sending you this audio video, and please do your homework also. Okay, I have more questions here. Part 2 homework you can send me maybe tomorrow, but part 1 homework you send me today itself. Part 1 which we did in the live class, that homework you send me today, and this part 2 homework you can send me tomorrow. Please copy down all the objectives and all that in your copies. Okay, I'm sending you just a file, just a document. So from there you look and copy the objectives and do your homework. Okay, hopefully it is clear so far. If you have doubts, listen to the video again. If you have particular problem with some lines in the lesson, let me know, or you can write down in the exit cards for the first period. Okay, so bye bye, take care, be good. Exams coming up on Monday, be good.